Shalom Aleichem. Exciting time that we're in. A moment before Lag BaOmer. Ayom 2-30 Yom LaOmer. Today is 32 days of the Omer. Here in Tzfat, Lag BaOmer is not just a day that we count. It's an entire season of festival. In the background right now, I'm hearing festivities of drums and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai singing. The entire city is filled with tourists coming from all over the world as a preparation to go up to Meron tonight in Lag BaOmer. I would like to learn together with you a little bit about the special connection that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai has to our generation, his relevance to me right now, to us right now here in end of days, Achrit Hayamim. Talk a little bit about the Kedusha of the Zohar Kadosh and what we could do on this day to get involved with Rabbi Shimon, to be included with him, to celebrate with him, to be celebrated with him. So we'll learn a little bit Zohar and go on from there. The Zohar Kadosh is like the Midrash of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. The Torah is given to us, Chamisha Chumsha Torah, the 5 books of Moshe Rabbeinu, and the Torah Sheba'al Peh. The Torah Sheba'al Peh is Talmud Bavli, Talmud Yerushalmi, Sifri, many Midrashim. These Midrashim was a Midrash. Every Chacham had his Bet Midrash, his Bet Knesset, his students, his yeshiva, and every Chacham would record the teachings of that Midrash, whether it's Midrash Rabbah, Midrash Tanchuma, and obviously every Chacham would teach according to his style. Just like today, if you go into a Bet Midrash that learns halacha, so you're going to hear a halacha shiur, and you're going to see the connection to Hashem through the perspective of halacha. If you go into a Bet Midrash that learns Kabbalah and Pnimiyut, you'll learn more about the inner dimensions, about tefillah, about tzedakah. There's many midrashim, and every midrash teaches the Torah from its perspective. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the secret, hidden, elevated perspective of Kabbalah. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai lived at the time of the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, right after his Rebbe, Rabbi Akiva. That generation experienced the unbelievable trauma of the destruction of our temple, the destruction of our nation, and us going into exile where each individual is dispersed, an unknown exile. When will this end? Nobody knows. Galut Edom, the 4th exile. What a deep exile. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai took a deep caring at that time. He would not stand still to the Roman Inquisition, even though there were Chachamim that were trying to be more politically correct and go with the flow and see what they could save. The fire, the passion, the Avat Yisrael that was within him did not let him remain silent. He voiced his opinion anti the Romans, anti the conquest. He was praying for the redemption of Am Yisrael and the destruction of evil. He could not stay silent, and this caused him that the Romans chased him. They ran after him. We see in many generations where the big Rashaim chased the Tzaddikim, like we find Napoleon chasing the Alter Rebbe, and the Tsar of Russia chasing the Holy Rishner. These Tzaddikim knew that they were the light, and they knew that the darkness was the darkness, and they hated it. They hated darkness. Cannot stay passionate, quiet, and through running away to the Ma'arat, his tremendous Avat Yisrael, and through his tremendous yearning to see the end of this galut, Eliyahu Hanavi would reveal himself twice a day to him. He would come every day to learn Torah, him and Rabbi Elazar, and they brought down the Midrash of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, which is called the Zohar Kadosh. The Zohar is splendor, the light. We find books of the early Mekubalim, so those times, more or less, 100 years before, Ben Tunya ben Akaneh has a sefer called Sefer HaBahir. Bahir means the light. These tzaddikim were present with the essence of the light of the secrets of Hashem, and they were attempting to facilitate and hold these secrets and transmit them on to the next generation. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is a part of a great discussion that takes place. The Gemara brings in Masechet Shabbat, where all the Chachamim gather together and they discuss, and they're all so nervous. We're saying, Atidah Torah shtistakach miYisrael, the Torah is going to be forgotten. Look at our Sanhedrin, look at the exile, look at the Galut. Who's going to hold the light? And no one has an answer. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai gets up and says, Chaz v'shalom, ki lo tishakach mipi zaroktiv. There's a promise that the Navi teaches that the Torah will never be forgotten. Rabbi Nachman Breslev teaches that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was alluding to his own self when he said that pasuk, because the last letters, ki lo tishakach mipi zarot, the last letters is Yochai. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was alluding that through the Zar'ah of Yochai, through the kids of Yochai, which was himself, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there's going to be some magic and some zchut and some deep, deep gift that Hashem will give the world, that the Torah will never be forgotten. Obviously, this Torah that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was discussing was not the Torah of Halacha. The book, our bookshelves are full of what to do and when to do and how much to do and all the measures and all the halachot. Baruch Hashem. The Torah that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was nervous about, that the world was nervous about, Torah di le'ela, the higher Torah. Et la'asod la'adonai eferu torotecha. There's a higher form of Torah. There's a higher secret. There's a higher view into the Torah that shows the unity of Hashem and His nation. It shows the light of what happens when Am Yisrael misses Hashem and keeps Torah and mitzvot. This light, this fire, this excitement was known to our nation when we went to Beit HaMikdash, when we saw our love in the eyes of Hashem. We saw how much the Creator loved us and we saw how much we loved Him. The passion, the light, the fire was available to see in the Beit HaMikdash after the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Who could contain this light? Who could transmit this light? Who could deliver this light? Chachamim got together and say, okay, we're going to have the external parts of the Torah, but who's going to bring the inside of the Torah? Who's going to bring the secret? Who's going to bring the fire, the light? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the one. He's the one that went up to heavens. He's the one that cared, that cried, that ran into the cave for 13 years. The Zohar Kadosh is called Tzinczenet Achat Man. We know that Moshe Rabbeinu, when Am Yisrael was in the desert, we did not live off regular food. We ate man from heavens. We ate heavenly bread. Motzi lechem min hashamayim. This man gave Am Yisrael the ability to understand its secrets and the depth and the unity and the plan of the Torah Kedusha. The Zohar Kadosh is called Tzinczenet Achat Man. The same way when Am Yisrael came into the Eretz Yisrael and the man stopped. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, take one jar, fill it up with man. I want my kids forever and ever to see the special food that they ate. The same way, the Zohar Kadosh is called that one jar of man. It's one. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was able to preserve that secret dimension, that secret part of the Torah, the Sod, was able to bring it down into holy, holy words, words that even Chachamim of his own generation didn't understand. He said, why am I doing this? I'm doing this for the end of days. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai had his eyes, had his vision, his care in Geulat Israel, in the final redemption of Am Yisrael. He could not rest seeing Esav, Edom, conquering Eretz Israel, conquering Yerushalayim, conquering the Beit HaMikdash, conquering the Jewish mind. He did everything he can to preserve the inner dimensions of the Torah, that one day at the end of the exile, when Am Yisrael is ready after such a long galut, will be able to open the Torah and see that the Torah is not just instructions and not just a disconnected mitzvot. It's one dance of love. It's one rhythm of love. It's one story of creator and creation. There's a whole secret going on here. And this is necessary for us to understand that there's something so much deeper and so much sweeter going on, in order for us to re-accept the Torah and do tshuva and to accept the Geulah Kedusha. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's eyes were on ending the exile, on bringing back Am Yisrael to their prime state. And this is going to be possible through Am Yisrael requesting and demanding and crying and yearning for Hashem and for His Torah. And this is the light that exists in the Zohar Kadosh. And to go a little deeper into this, we're going to learn a little piece of Zohar, but then I want to go into the book of Daniel, Sefer Daniel, where Sefer Daniel is actually where the word Zohar comes from. Because this, a person writes a sefer. Writing a sefer can take years. A person's writing a deep sefer. But at what point do you write the name of the book? What point do you write the name? The name has to be something very inclusive, the mission statement of the entire thing. The name is extremely significant. And the name of the Zohar Kadosh comes from the Sefer Daniel. Sefer Daniel, we'll go in a little bit, is Daniel and Yaakov Avinu, the two great tzaddikim, that Hashem revealed to them the ketz. Hashem revealed to them the time of Mashiach. Yaakov Avinu tries to gather his kids and to reveal to them the ketz right before he passes away. And we know that Shekhinah leaves him. And Daniel, Hashem tells him, Mashiach is going to come at this and this date. Malach Gabriel, there's a whole discussion in Sefer Daniel, when will the Geulah come? And what will the world look like? What will be the state of our nation? What will be the state of our psyche, of our thinking before Mashiach comes? So at the end of Sefer Daniel, Perek Yud and on, Daniel gets a great vision from Malach Gabriel. The great angel Gabriel comes to see him, and he's frightened and he's shooken up, and over there, Malach Gabriel unfolds to him many visions that he had before, and basically explains to him what's going to be till Mashiach comes. And he says like this, Daniel Perek Yud Bet. ובעת ההיא יעמוד מיכאל השר הגדול העומד על ערכאה בית ישראל, ואתה עת צרה אשר לא נהייתה מהיות גוי עד העת ההיא. There's going to be a tremendous darkness in the world, tremendous tzarot, tremendous pains that our nation never experienced since it became a nation. The birth of Mashiach, the birth of the third Beit HaMikdash that we're waiting for, Shlevo Hayom, is a birth, just like a regular birth that comes full of contractions and blood and pain. So is this birth described, but just like a regular birth, after all the contractions and blood and pain, there's a beautiful child, there's the continuation of life, there's something brand new that never existed before, so is the Geulah. And in this traumatic time, in this dark time that will exist pre-Mashiach, he's explaining to him the wars that are going to be between the Ishmael and Edom and the Arabs and the Chulu. And over here, this pasuk comes, V'amaskilim yazhiru kazohar harakia. During that time, there'll be people called maskilim, people that are interested in pursuing wisdom and pursuing godly wisdom. Interesting that this word was used by the 150, 200 years ago by the maskilim in Europe. This word was contaminated by the Enlightenment, as if to say that they had the Enlightenment. They want to say, let's leave the Torah, let's leave the mitzvot. We have the new light. That was the klipa of this, but the real maskilim yaziru kazohar harakia. The people that are maskilim at that point, at that time where HaKadosh Baruch Hu was bringing a great darkness and a great light, and that great birth of this time, there's going to be a very strong effect. There'll be people in very, very big darkness. There'll be people lost, searching, yishotetu. People in the world will be searching for light, searching for reason. And at the same time, there'll be people that will be great maskilim, that will know great heavenly wisdom, and they're going to shine like the heavens shine. Maskilim yazhiru. Those are maskilim yazhiru kazohar harakia. They're going to shine like the shining of the heavens. And the word Zohar, this is the word Zohar, the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai alav shalom. This is the word that he chooses as the name of his book. The name of this book, that this book is the book of bringing the Geulah. Like it says in the Sefer Hazor, Behai Sefer Hazor, Yipkun be min galuta berachamei. Eliyahu Navi tells Rabbi Shimon over and over in the Zohar. I'm so happy that you're writing the Zohar, because this Zohar is going to be the book that Am Yisrael is going to use at the end of days. Through this book, through the study of this book, through the pursuit of this knowledge, our nation will be able to leave the galut berachamim, with mercy. That means there's going to be a big balagan in the world. There's going to be a lot of darkness and a lot of chaos and a lot of pain in the world during this birth of this new era of Mashiach. But this is not going to be for everyone. Ones who pursue wisdom, ones who pursue light, ones who look at Hashem and say, Hashem, what do you want from me? What could I do for you? I want to be connected to you. Those who understand that the Torah has a deeper rhyme and a reason. It's not just a bunch of disconnected mitzvot. The Torah is a story of the relationship of mankind and the Creator. Those who are pursuing the deep connection of Bet HaMikdash and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. המשכילים יזהירו כזוהר הרקיע. ספר הזוהר is not only a book of understanding, it's a book of kedusha v'tahara. It's a book of purity. Tzaddikim write, the Chida and the Ari and all the tzaddikim write, the great skula of learning Sefer HaZohar begirsa, just saying the Zohar without even understanding what the words mean. The Ari HaKadosh, one of the big Balei Tshuva that came with Tzfas years ago, 500 years ago, was written in Shifchei Ari. Tremendous sinner that Mamish was, and he came to the Ari and he thought, what tshuva will the Ari give me? The Ari told him, every day read 10 pages of the Zohar without understanding. Without understanding. The Lashon of the Zohar is mitaheret hanefesh, it purifies the essence. It's a Lashon, the text, the wording is full of yearning, full of emotion. The Zohar constantly uses the words tachazi. It has to do with bringing a person to the experience of sight, of seeing holy visions. Unlike the Gemara is Tashema. The Gemara is how do I find God from this world? I have to listen, hear word after word, experience after experience. Listening is the ability to hear many details and put it together and to come up with I hear what you're saying. Seeing is being blitzed with truth. Just, wow, seeing everything at one time, and then the mind slowly figures out, what did I see? What's going on here? The importance of learning Sefer HaZohar begirsa. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, when he writes his holy Sefer, what's the name he's giving it? He's giving it Zohar. He's saying, my dear nation, my dear brothers, I'm standing 2,000 years before the Geula, and I'm writing you a book that when the time of Geula will come, Hashem will send the Ari and he'll open up the gates. Hashem will send the Ramak, he'll open up the gates. Through learning the Zohar, at that time, you'll be able to feel the love and the light that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai took from the Bet HaMikdash, from the Shekhinah, put it into words. You'll be able to, that wisdom will be able to go into you and to awaken inside of us a deep gagua, a deep yearning for Malchut Shamayim, for the kingship of Hashem. A deep yearning to see the beauty of the Torah Kedusha, to see the inner dimensions, to see the unified dimension of the Torah Kedusha. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was mainly, I would say, targeting not the people of his generation, but the people of our generation. The people that are going to stand here at this time that Daniel is describing in the Navi, where this dark time is going to come, where the world's going to be in chaos, but there's going to be available a beautiful Zohar. There'll be an amazing light that will be available. And there'll be people that will be maskilim at that time. There'll be people that will care, who will run to this book to learn sechet, to learn inner deep wisdom. So the celebration of Shimon Bar Yochai is not just a celebration of one tzaddik. It's really the celebration of our nation anticipating and awaiting the Geulah. It's a way that Hashem Barach showed us that I took the light of the Bet HaMikdash, I took the light of the Geula, and I gave it to a tzaddik, and he was able to put it into a book. And through this book unfolding at the end of days, we'll be able to ukratem dror ba'aretz, to bring freedom to mankind, to bring freedom to the world that's suffering from all the darkness around. So the Gemara Megillah teaches us that Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel translated the entire Torah. Targum Yonasan ben Uziel, besides the Sefer Daniel. When he wanted to translate Daniel, the bat kol came out, the voice of heaven came out and said, no, Daniel you can't translate. It reveals the coming of Mashiach. It beketz Mashiach. So it was not translated. When Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai gives the name to his Sefer HaKadosh, Sefer HaZohar, from the book of Daniel, I was thinking that this may be the pshat, that on the one hand, Eliyahu Hanavi tells Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, through your Zohar, Am Yisrael will leave the Galut. That means that through studying the Zohar, it has a skula of bringing the Mashiach, of bringing the Geulah. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai giving his name from Daniel, I believe, is the Zohar Kadosh is the Targum on Sefer Daniel. I mean, the Zohar Kadosh is the medrash that discusses many parts of the Torah and their hidden meaning, and how Hashem is there and how Avodat Hashem is there. But the main name, the main inyan is Daniel. The main generation that he's looking for to enlighten is the generation of the end of days that Daniel is getting his nevuah for. So the Zohar Kadosh, meaning if Sefer Daniel would be translated, it would not be good because that would bring Mashiach too fast. Boker Tov, that's the Zohar. The Zohar is the book that brings Mashiach, and it's based on Daniel. So that's really, really, really a translation of this holy Sefer, Sefer Daniel. That's really why we see that all the tzaddikim throughout the time, anyone that was osek, that was in love with Hashem, in love with Am Yisrael, was involved with the Zohar Kadosh, missing Hashem, missing the light, missing the Geulah. And I want to finish off this special time that we're in Sfirat HaOmer. We daven to Hashem, ועל ידי זה יושפע שפע רב בכל העולמות. Through Sfirat HaOmer, there'll be a shefa rav, there'll be a tremendous shefa in all the worlds. Shefa rav b'chol ha'olam. Shin, Reish, Bet, Yud. That's Rashbi. Rav Shimon Bar Yochai is the shefa rav b'chol ha'olamot. He's the one that brings the shefa rav. Shefa rav could also be like a lot of shefa, but also the shefa of the rav, the shefa of Hashem. He's the one that unifies, that brings the shefa of the rav, the shefa of Hashem Yitbarach, the awareness of Hashem into all the worlds. That's really, really the redemption of the worlds, when the worlds wake up from their coma, from their sleep, from their imagination, and realize that the world is one, that creation is one, that this one story, that Hashem is everywhere. Yiratzon, may Hashem bless us this year. All of us want to get close to Rabbi Shimon. How do you get close to Rabbi Shimon? Maybe you're in the States, maybe you're in Mexico, maybe you're in Europe, maybe you're just stuck at home somewhere and you can't get to Rabbi Shimon. How do you get to Rabbi Shimon? We spoke so much about love. Anan chavivuta talya milta. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai teaches us in the Zohar. He says, him and his 10 chavayim were all about love, but loving each other, loving Hashem, awakening the love that Hashem has to his nation, that his nation has to Hashem. The Torah, it's all about love. Chavivuta. Wherever you are, light a candle for Rabbi Shimon. Go take out a Zohar, open a Zohar in a corner, and just read the sweet, holy, deep words. Put your head in the Zohar, cry, speak to Rabbi Shimon, speak to Hashem. Tell Hashem about how much you want to be aware of Him and be connected to Him. Tell Hashem about how dark the world is and how much we need the Zohar, how much we need this light of Rabbi Shimon, how we need this light of Daniel. Pinchas Mikoritz writes that there's no better book that a person could bury himself in like the Zohar Kadosh. You could go into that book, you could into the Sefer. So may Hashem help us this Lag BaOmer, this day of Hilulah, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's teachings, he's the one that's standing in heavens and giving the drashot and giving the brachot. It's his day. And the day of Lag BaOmer, the day that he passed away, and that day in the Zohar, it says that Hashem told him, this whole day is Birshut HaKaimach. The sun will not set till you're done saying your secrets. This day belongs to you, Rabbi Shimon. This day still, forever and ever belongs to him. This is the day that Rabbi Shimon empowers his agenda, bringing the light of Hashem, strengthening every Jew, strengthening the memory of the Geulah. May Hashem give us the zchut to bury ourselves in the Zohar, to include ourselves in this love and this festivity of the Hilulah, of the wedding, the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. May we have the light of Rabbi Shimon traveling to us, in us, through us, to the world. And may we experience the fulfillment of the dreams of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the fulfillment of the Nevuot of Daniel, where we see Mala Aretz De'ayit Hashem, where we see the physical dimension full of Tat, of wisdom, of truth, of unity. במהרה בימינו, בזכות this holy Lag BaOmer, ברוך Adonai לעולם, אמן ואמן.